Revelation 2872. From the 7th of September 1943. Working of the Spirit. Listening within consciously. Listening within is a conscious expression of will. It is not a switching off of one's own will. It is no weakness, no surrender to another will, but a strengthened will to hear the expression of the divine will within oneself. And therefore God will now also make himself known, because the human being desires God and his eternal truth. But if the human being relinquishes his will, he surrenders himself to forces which use his weakness of will to express themselves. The desire for God protects him from forces which are not permeated by God. And yet there is an obvious danger that he will not turn to God himself in a conscious state, but only call upon the spiritual forces in the beyond. That a kind of desire for knowledge will develop in him which has otherworldly states as its goal, and that spiritual beings will then express themselves in an unconscious state which want to express their thoughts and are not yet in truth, in light. For in the unconscious state the human being can no longer control whether and to what extent he is connected to God. Although the will in the conscious state is good and turned towards God, the answer from God should also be expected in the conscious state, because the spirit should express itself in the human being. And by this it can be recognized whether God's emanations touch him, whether God's Spirit itself becomes effective in the human being. Announcements from the beyond, received in an unconscious state, are always external mediations, whereas the working of the Spirit expresses itself such that it conveys the truth to people from within, that the human being himself is able to hear the voice in a conscious state. An erroneous being cannot make itself known from within, because this is a process of emanating strength. But strength is only where there is light. That is pure truth, whereas in a person who surrenders his own will by putting himself into a state of sleep, an immature, that as ignorant being makes use of the human being's strength in order to make itself known, and the human being himself does not put up any resistance through the conscious desire for the pure truth, which would immediately repel such a being. And once an erroneous opinion could be conveyed to people in this way, they will hold on to it with such tenacity that it will be difficult for the beings of light to invalidate this body of thought, which is why time and again a purge has to be carried out, because time and again misguided teachings are spread which signify a spiritual danger for people. Amen.